I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair.
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
Which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week. It's a little around, maybe we're getting to it's been a few weeks of baseball. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the man who will be on the mound today, Austin.
I'm glad I'm the starter, Kevin. I appreciate that.
Well earned. But today we're going to talk about storylines. So I'll let you go first.
Yes, there's a abundance of storylines to go around, but there's a couple of my favorite. I think my favorite storyline right now is the Pirates. It has to do with Andrew McCutchen being back, hitting over 300. He's playing amazing, and they're winning games. They're 12-7.
Yeah, that's a good storyline. Mine was a team we've already talked about, and that's MLB Will the Streak Last. Make sure to check that one out. And that's the Rays. They're 16-3. Jeffrey Springs just went down, but they brought up Bradley, and he played really well. And it looks like they're playing really well. I know Taylor Walls is hitting well, and Wander Franco and Josh Lowe or Brandon Lowe. And I think that's a key thing because they've only lost 3 games.
Yeah, and today they have the day off, or the day we're recording they have the day off, but then they go into a series against the White Sox, who are 7-12. So this could go on for a while.
Yeah, and then I think another one could be, as I'm just looking at the standings, the Athletics storyline is how bad they're going to be, as the news just broke that they are looking to move to Vegas. So how bad are they in Oakland, and what is the reception like from the fans that still show up?
Yeah, it hasn't been truly confirmed that they're moving, but they have bought an area of land in Vegas. They're going to have to get that approved to move there, but I don't feel like they're going to struggle with that. So I think it's pretty. There's a pretty high chance that they do end up moving, which is a sad sight for some people that like Oakland as a sports town, because it would have lost all of its teams within a couple of years, losing the Warriors, then the Raiders, and now the Athletics.
And I'm just like, I get Vegas is a big city, but there's only really, I don't think the attendance has gone well for the Raiders there.
Yeah, they don't have many Raiders fans.
I just know the Golden Knights is like the one success. Like, it's an incredible story because they're competitive, but they also have a huge fan base.
Yeah.
So I'm just, maybe if Oakland gets good when they move there, but I don't think that's going to happen, then people will come. But it seems like you're going to still struggle with fan attendance if you're just the worst team in the MLB.
Yeah, this is something that they've struggled with for a while, and they need to fix it before it gets too late, and they won't have anyone cheering for them. And this is kind of the whole point of like, why do you tank? So, I mean, there's a lot to be discussed there, but it's definitely something to look into. If they do move to Vegas, will they have anybody watching their games at all?
Yeah. And then, do you have another storyline?
Yeah, another storyline that I think is uh, pretty big is the rebounding of the Diamondbacks, who are 11-8. They're ahead of their uh, of the NL West. They're the only team above 500 in the NL West, a division that includes the Dodgers, Padres, Giants, and obviously Rockies. Uh, they've done very well. While obviously Bumgarner struggled, they've won their fair share of games, and they start off the year hot.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice success story as a team that we talked about tanking. It's good that they're breaking out of it and they have a lot of good prospects. So, how much do they call them? And this is a team that extended Corbin Carroll at the start of the year.
Yeah, and they obviously have Zach Gallen and so many other great players, Christian Walker, and they have a bright future as well. They have a lot of young guys and guys in the system, and they're starting out hot now.
Yeah, and then I also maybe one broad storyline would be who's the next young guy to get extended or because Hunter Green got extended, and then I know Pablo Lopez got extended, but I don't know if I really count him as young. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to think of young guys who could get extended. Um, like I don't think it's too early for Volpe or Walker since they just came up. Or maybe it's not given how early. Maybe Walker, they extend Walker. And something like that. Do you have any idea?
I do think it's a little bit early for Walker or Volpe. Um, Maybe we see a giant extension with somebody else that is coming up soon. I'm trying to think.
What about Bobby Witt? Is he
I don't know if he's extended. He probably
okay?
should be.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So Orioles, maybe there's someone. I'm trying to think of small market teams who have a lot. Um,
I mean, I don't think the Orioles have extended Gunnar Henderson.
yeah, that could be a name, and that would be a smart move. I know there's risk involved, but when you're a small market team, you need to take those risks. As we've seen with the Athletics in the past, if they don't pay someone, they have to trade them. It's really worked out for the Braves, which is a team that's currently leading the NL East by 2 games. And I'm trying to think, they got Max Fried back. So what do they do now? I've heard complaints about Marcell Ozuna. How do they upgrade that spot? Or what are your thoughts on the Braves and just their continuing hot streak?
I mean, it's just something that I think is indicative of great coaching and a great system there because they've lost so many of their best players recently, Freddie Freeman and Dansby Swanson, the free agency. But they just continue to keep it on, and they have a lot of great prospects that they keep on bringing up. And if they keep doing that, they'll be good for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Pirates earlier. I'm going to stay and I'm going to go back to that division. And the Cardinals are second to last. This is a team that we had at the top of the NL this year, and they have just struggled. I think it's mostly pitching. They lost. Well, they beat the Diamondbacks 14-5. As we're recording, they are set to start a series against the Mariners. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a storyline that's a negative storyline. As I think it's mainly the pitching, even though you do have Jordan Walker, which is another storyline. But I think it's the pitching and the lack of quality starters.
Yeah, and we still haven't seen Wainwright pitch this year, which is something that's concerning considering that this is his last season, according to him. Uh, and if they want to make a playoff push, they want to make a playoff run, they need him and all their starters completely healthy and working to their best potential. But right now, because of injuries or otherwise, they are just not performing well.
Yeah. So a lot's happening. I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about. We're kind of just going speed round. But anything else you got?
Um, I mean, I do think it's pretty remarkable that the top two in the AL West are the Rangers and Angels. Then you got Houston, but Seattle's struggled. Houston to below 500. I mean, there's a lot of uh, unpredictability with that division right now. We don't know if it's going to hold considering the past success of Houston, but for right now, it's cool to see.
Yeah, the Rangers finally got a Road Series win in Houston for the first time since 2018. I believe you're part of the group chat of Rangers
I am.
fans.
I am.
Yeah.
I like to see
But,
the excitement that you guys have.
dude, it's a fun time with the Rangers. It's truly remarkable, and I think a storyline, if we can talk about it, is probably Verlander versus DeGrom, as a Mets writer said it was better that they got Verlander, and then Verlander has been on the IL this year, which you could also apply to the Astros. I don't get their hitting. I don't get how just pitching prospects pop up for them. It's kind of with the Rays, except the Rays haven't won a championship.
Well, the problem with Rays is that every single one of their pitchers gets Tommy John, but
That's true.
it just seems like with them, or with both of those teams, they consistently get all the positions they needed filled with their with people that are just in their system, and that's something that great teams do. Teams that consistently make the playoffs do, and that's something that both of these teams who've made the playoffs a lot of years in a row have done.
Yeah, and talking about they're just homegrown. I believe all their rotation is homegrown. Valdez, we've talked about now because he was great in the World Series. You have Urquidy, who I think got hurt. You have McCullers, who's now in the IL, but he's been a good pitcher. Then you have Luis Garcia, Christian Javier, and then Hunter Brown is a guy who I think's going to be really good, and he's only like 25.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have young starting pitchers coming up, I think it sets up your team for success in the future. Like I said, and that's something that the Astros have done very well during their title pushes.
Yes, and so back to the Rangers. How long will DeGrom stay healthy, and just all the other pitchers? Because you have Andrew Heaney, Nathan Valdi, John Gray, and the Rangers in the past have never had good luck with starting rotation health.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be looked into is whether they can stay healthy, and that's really going to determine whether or not the Rangers can finally make the playoffs for the first time since 2016.
Yep, that's true. And we'll end it there. Thank you for listening. Let us know if we forgot any storylines, and we appreciate you listening to Outsiders Opinions.